What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Today, we're going to be diving into something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a underrated players for the Arizona Cardinals so far in 2024. I know right now, there's not really much news coming out, right? We already kind of know what the injury report looks like heading into week, was it 13 now versus the Minnesota Vikings? So, kind of in the dog days of this NFL season, we're trying to see if this Arizona Cardinal team can make a push to the playoffs, but let's go ahead and get started here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started on my list here of 5 underrated, either first year, second year, or newly acquired, right? Players here for the Arizona Cardinals. Let me know in the comments below what your underrated players are. And do me a huge favor, smack up the like button and subscribe. We are on the road to 16K. Can't do it without you guys, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go and get started here on my number 1 list. Now, this is not in any specific order. Just want to be very, very clear. I got my guy here, Chad Ryland, ladies and gentlemen. Chad Ryland, what he's done so far in terms of just being able to step in the kicker role and being a fantastic player and a really good kicker for the Arizona Cardinals has been absolutely fantastic. Now, yes, did he miss a kick versus Seattle? Yes, he did. Now, I don't think that's one of those things that we're going to be a big thing as to why the Cardinals lost. No, that defense over there in Seattle already had a chokehold on this Arizona Cardinal offense, and we really couldn't do very much. He was the only guy that put points up on the board at the end of the day. So, not going to blame him one bit. I think he was a really, really good signing here from Monty Ossenfort, bringing him in. And, we're talking about potentially the kicker for the next foreseeable future, right? And we're probably, I'm not saying he's going to be a kicker that's going to be in the league for 20 years. Not saying that. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Matt Prater, but if we got a guy that's solidified to be our kicker for the next, 3, 4, 5 years, that's a pretty good pickup, right? That's a pretty good pickup here from Monty Ossenfort. So far, he's done actually pretty darn well. I know he was originally drafted, I believe, in the 4th round to the Patriots. They gave up on him, and the Cardinals picked him up, and it worked, right? It absolutely worked. He's been absolutely clutch for the Arizona Cardinals so far. Absolutely an underrated player here in my mind. Let's move on over to my next player. That's going to be none other than Dante Stills, ladies and gentlemen. Dante Stills. Now, this guy right here, I don't even know where to start, right? 4th round pick. No, I'm sorry, a 6th round pick. I'm sorry, I said 4th. No, it's a 6th round pick that we ended up drafting last year in the 2023 NFL draft out of West Virginia. So far, he's had 13 solo tackles, 4.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and so far, he's looked really, really good for the Arizona Cardinals defensive line. Now, here's the thing, right? You're probably going to reach to the comments and say, oh, this guy is not that great. Well, you got to keep in mind, I'm talking about impactful players that are underrated, right? That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the guy that's going to be giving you 10 sacks, 12, 50. I mean, granted, the Cardinals don't even have that on their roster to begin with, right? So to say and sit here, we got a 6th round pick that's already giving us this production. It's crazy. That's even crazy to even think of, right? So Dante Stills is an absolutely underrated player for the Cardinals, and this is only his year 2, right? And being the fact that the Cardinals defensive line and the way that they use them, right, just very, very rotational, not really giving a specific player 80% of snap count. That's not the forte of what this Arizona Cardinals defense does, right? So being the fact that he's already giving us this production, and he's a 6th round pick, is huge. It's huge. I believe it was last year that he had him mic'd up. Really good personality, right? Seems to be a really good locker room type of guy, and I like it. Give me more Dante Stills. I'm excited to see what he's going to do for the remaining of his career. Hopefully, he stays as an Arizona Cardinal because we're seeing really, really good flashes here, right? And also keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that yes, this is year 2. You don't know what year 3 is going to hold, right? You don't know what year 4 is going to hold. Sometimes it takes players years to develop into the guy that you need him to. I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to be the next X factor for the Cardinals, but he's looked really, really good so far with the opportunity that is provided to him. So really, really like what I see from Dante Stills. Let's move on over to my next player. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not in any specific order here, right? No specific order, but I got to go and throw it in here. Taylor-Demerson, the rookie that we ended up drafting this year in the 4th round. Now, he's only played 2 games starting, and I think we've seen some, flashes here and there, or I guess some snaps here and there, but so far with what we see from Taylor-Demerson, it's been amazing. It's been really, really good. I think you got to give credit to Monty Ossenfort for picking this guy up here in the 4th round. Now, what is he going to look like? Like, what is his role going to be with the Cardinals for years? I don't know, right? This is one of those tricky things to me because obviously Buda Baker is going to be, wanting to get a contract extension this offseason, is due to be a free agent. There's a lot of Cardinal fans that want us to sign him back, right? But I don't know what the Cardinals are going to decide to do, right? I don't. Now there's also Jalen Thompson on the other hand, right? So it's a very, very crowded safety core that we currently have right now. But Taylor-Demerson is looking to be really, really good, right? It's such a young, small sample size that we've seen so far. He's looked pretty darn good. Now, like I said, the stats don't look too fantastic. They're over here on the screen, but the way that he plays, right, the physicality that he brings on the football field, it doesn't go unnoticed. It does not go unnoticed one bit. A great, great player for the Cardinals, and I'm excited to see what the Cardinals decide to do. It might be one of those things that might be a little bittersweet. I know a lot of us want Buda Baker back, right? And a lot of us are like, pay him now, pay him now. I don't know what's gonna happen this offseason. I know the Cardinals want to bring him back. I know there's been conversations about potentially bringing him back, but is there gonna be another team that's gonna overpay, or not overpay, but pay more than what the Cardinals are willing to do? That's going to be the situation that's going to be very interesting this offseason. So, throwing Dadrian Taylor-Demerson, a.k.a. Rabbit, on this list. Very, very underrated player so far, and this is just his year 1 as an Arizona Cardinal. So, next player, Michael Wilson. Now, Michael Wilson has looked really, really good. And I mean really, really good when given the opportunity. Now, we already know that the Arizona Cardinals offense isn't a pass-heavy team, right? We're a run-heavy team, or at least that's what we're supposed to be, right? When Michael Wilson has been given the opportunity, he's looked really, really well. Really good. Been one of those things here that I always felt that Michael Wilson can definitely very well be that number 2 wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. And we've seen the intangibles. We've seen some really, really good things here for Michael Wilson. It's just the way that the Cardinals are treating these wide receivers, it's so inconsistent that it's really unfortunate that Michael Wilson is, I'm not gonna say on this team, but like our mindset is first run, 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 right? So I think if he gives more opportunity and gets more opportunity, he could definitely very well be a consistent 600, 700, 800 yard type of wide receiver. It's just you got to get that opportunity, right? And we've seen some really good things here from Michael Wilson. So this is his year 2. We got him in round 3 of last year, and so far, obviously production's there. Would we like more yardage in 2024? Of course, right? But even your number 1 wide receiver here in Marvin Harrison Jr. only just cracked 500 yards, right? So being the fact that your number 2 wide receiver is at 361 yards doesn't really look, there's a difference there, obviously, but it makes sense, right? In terms of why he is at this number, right? I would love to see Michael Wilson with 400, right? 450 yards, right? And then Marvin Harrison Jr. with 650. But like I said, this offense is still a little clunky. So Michael Wilson, definitely very underrated. Well, outside this organization, doesn't really know too much about Michael Wilson, but definitely very, very, very good wide receiver. All right. Last player I want to talk about here. Last player. Underrated indeed. Garrett Williams. My goodness, this kid right here has absolutely exceeded expectations, in my opinion. He's done very, very well. And we've heard Jonathan Gannon already have glowing remarks about Garrett Williams. People don't know his name yet outside this Cardinals fan base / organization, right? There's a couple of people here and there that know about Garrett Williams. They're going to know maybe within next year or the following year after that. Garrett Williams was drafted last year in the 3rd round as well. Didn't play a lot of last year as well. He was recovering from a big injury that he ended up having here in Syracuse, but everybody said it. This guy could have been a potential 1st-round pick, and the Cardinals got him in the 3rd-round pick because of obviously the injury. So far in this sample size this year, he's looked really good. Potentially number 1 cornerback-esque, right? And I've been so high on Garrett Williams since we drafted him that I'm so glad that it's actually kind of coming into fruition here, right? So it's no surprise to me that he's looked good. It's just now I'm excited that he's finally getting credit, right? Now, PFF Arizona Cardinals here ended up putting a tweet here about week 12. Obviously, he's had an interception this last game against Geno. He had a 90.8 PFF grade. That's second overall in week 12. He was good. He was good. So far, he's only got 2 interceptions this year. But, I mean, you just look at him on the field later. Look the way it all. I'm not saying he's a lockdown cornerback yet, but if we have a guy on this roster that can get there, it's probably going to be this guy right here, Garrett Williams. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts here? What is your most underrated Arizona Cardinals on this roster right now? Let me know in the comments below. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cardinals.